One quarterback just became the most exciting player in the entire NFL. One team just wasted a top 3 pick because their owner wanted to sell jerseys. And one fan base watched another team literally steal their receiver off the phone while they were calling him. Draft night 2026 was wild. Some franchises walked out of the war room looking like geniuses. Others walked out looking like they had never watched a football game in their lives. Let's break down every winner and every loser from the 2026 NFL Draft. Let's start with the biggest story of the night. Fernando Mendoza goes number 1 overall to the Las Vegas Raiders. And if you don't know who Mendoza is, here's the short version. He just had one of the greatest seasons in college football history. 3,535 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. He won the Heisman Trophy, he led Indiana to an undefeated record, and then he won a national championship on top of all of that. Before Mendoza did it, only 9 quarterbacks in the history of college football had ever won both the Heisman and the national title in the same season. Mendoza is now the 4th quarterback since 2010 to pull it off, joining Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, and Joe Burrow. That is genuinely elite company. But here is the thing people keep missing about Mendoza. This wasn't just a scheme player. Among every starting quarterback in college football last year, Mendoza had the 2nd most touchdowns while under pressure with 9. He also had the most touchdowns on plays that had nothing to do with play action, throwing for 31 scores on pure drop-back throws. That was 10 more than the guy in 2nd place. His passing grade on those throws was 90.7. That is not a system quarterback. That is a franchise cornerstone. The Joe Burrow comparison is real. Both transferred programs, both won the Heisman, both went 1st overall, and Burrow took a laughingstock Bengals team to the Super Bowl in year 2. Las Vegas has a young offensive coach, a rising defense with Max Crosby still on the roster, and now the most accurate quarterback in college football history running their offense. The Raiders are not just a feel-good story. They are a problem. Now for the first loser of the night. Arizona drafted Jeremiah Love 3rd overall. And before you stop me, let me be clear. Jeremiah Love is a phenomenal running back. At Notre Dame, he rushed for 2,497 yards and 35 touchdowns in 2 seasons, while adding another 517 yards catching the football. He is a special player. But here is the problem. This pick had nothing to do with football. Reports came out before the draft that there was a split inside the Cardinals building. Their own general manager reportedly wanted an edge rusher to fix their broken defense. But team ownership pushed for Love because they wanted a star to sell tickets and move jerseys during another rebuilding year. Their own team website published a story just weeks before the draft saying the Love pick was unlikely after they signed a running back in free agency. Then they did it anyway. Arizona ranked 31st in rushing yards per game last season at 93.1. But they were that bad because their entire backfield got hurt, not because they lacked talent. They addressed that by signing a veteran back in free agency. What they did not address is a defense that has ranked near the bottom of the league in pressure rate for 3 straight years. Arl Reese, one of the best edge rushers in the draft, was sitting right there at pick number 3. He went to someone else. Now Arizona has 5 running backs on the roster, no franchise quarterback after releasing Kyler Murray, and a defense that still cannot get after the passer. Jeremiah Love is going to be great someday. But the Cardinals did not make this pick because it made them better. They made it because ownership wanted to hang a jersey in a store window. The Giants made a blockbuster trade before the draft, sending Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals for the 10th overall pick. Then they went into draft night and used their picks like a team that actually has a plan. At pick 5, they landed Arl Reese out of Ohio State, a pass rusher who probably should never have been available that late. 5 picks later, they added Francis Mauigoa out of Miami, widely considered the best offensive lineman in the entire draft. 2 elite players in the trenches on both sides of the ball in the same night. New head coach John Harbaugh loves building through the line of scrimmage, and the Giants gave him exactly what he wanted. This is how you build a winning football team from the ground up. Trading up 1 spot to grab Caleb Downs at pick 11 was the best move Dallas has made in years. Downs might be the most polished and complete defensive back to enter the draft in a long time. He flies all over the field, erases receivers in coverage, and comes downhill to hit like a linebacker. Dallas had the worst pass defense in the entire NFL last season. Adding a generational defensive back changes that ceiling overnight. They also added Malachi Lawrence at pick 23 to address the edge rusher position. Dallas came in with 2 major holes on defense. They walked out with 2 high-ceiling players to fill them. That is a very good night. The LA Rams drafted Ty Simpson with the 13th pick. And I want to be specific here. I am calling Ty Simpson a winner. Simpson is raw. Nobody debates that. But where he is going makes all the difference. He walks into an offense run by Sean McVay, one of the best offensive minds the game has ever seen. He gets to sit behind Matthew Stafford and absorb the system before he ever has to start. When Stafford eventually rides off into the sunset, Simpson steps right in with a full year of experience already in his back pocket. The Packers did this with Aaron Rodgers, they did it again with Jordan Love. The process works when the situation is right. This situation is right. Ty Simpson landed in the best possible place for a developing quarterback. This one is genuinely painful to even tell you. The Steelers were on the phone with My Lemon planning to take him at pick 21, and while they were mid-conversation, the Philadelphia Eagles traded up over them and snatched Lemon from their hands. Lemon could not even answer their call back because he was already talking to Philly. Pittsburgh was hosting the draft. They had an incredible intro built up for their moment, and the pick they ended up making was significantly lower on draft boards than Lemon. The Eagles turned around, traded up 3 spots from 23, and walked out with arguably the best receiving talent in the entire draft. Pittsburgh went home with nothing close to that. Philly trading up for My Lemon was the right call at the right time. Lemon is an elite route runner with sure hands and the ability to break tackles after the catch. He is exactly what you want at wide receiver for the next 5 years. He also confirms what most people already suspected. A.J. Brown is done in Philadelphia, but that is actually good news for everyone involved. Brown heads to New England, where a 23-year-old MVP candidate quarterback needs a proven #1 receiver. The Patriots just made the Super Bowl. Adding A.J. Brown to that team makes them a genuine contender to go back. That is the 2026 NFL Draft broken down. A quarterback who might be the next Joe Burrow, a team that spent a top 3 pick to sell jerseys, and a fan base that watched their receiver get stolen mid-phone call. Draft night never disappoints. Drop your biggest winner and biggest loser in the comments. I want to see where you stand.